Good morning, Padawans. Happy Wednesday morning. I'm feeling a little better with the penicillin medicine that I got at the urgent care yesterday. But I want to comment on this picture that I posted on my community post about the Black Pope. And some clowns have been speculating and wondering why I posted the image for the Black Pope. Francis died, Pope Francis, and I guess they're having the conclave. They're going to pick a new pope. Now, I grew up Catholic. My mom being Catholic, my grandma being Catholic. Everyone was Catholic when I was growing up, and they were into saints and the Vatican, and they always talked about the Pope. But I remember my mom telling me many times, like something like, hey, when they pick a black pope, it's going to be the end of the world because he's the Antichrist. And I was like, okay, it's just a funny thing that my mom used to say. I don't think my mom was racist, all right? But then later, like in the 90s, I listened to Art Bell. And Art Bell had a lot of guests and callers talking about, back in the day, they would always talking about the Pope. The Pope's going to die this week. Or the Pope is going to die tomorrow. The Pope, it was just bullshit, okay? But there was a lot of callers saying that the same thing. If we were going to get a black Pope, he would be absolutely the Antichrist. And it would be the end of the world. And the world was going to end. And I kind of grew up listening to these things. Like Art Bell had a lot of these crazy people calling in, talking about the Black Pope. And I don't believe any of it because I don't follow the Vatican. I don't believe in the Pope. I think it's absolute bullshit. I only have one teacher, Jesus Christ, okay? And Christians do not idolize saints, gold, churches, money, all these costumes that these priests have, all the money, the coins, the Vatican, it's its own government, and they're just a bunch of rich, annoying, snotty, fake asses. So I don't buy any into it. Like I said, and this is the first time I comment on a commentary here about the Pope. He was a good person, okay? I'm not going to say he was not a good human, but he was not someone to pray to or he was not a teacher of mine. If he was a teacher of whoever, I respect that, But I don't know what you would call yourself. I guess you would say, hey, I'm just a Catholic because I go by the teachings of the Pope. So I don't know how that works. But I always said I go by the teachings of Jesus Christ, and that's it, as far as I go. Again, I read the Bible 5 times. I went to the San Diego Church of Christ for 10 years. I know the church. The church is a scam. The reason people go to church, and I'm going to be honest with you, the reason people go to church is to hook up. That's it. They go to hook up, to have sex. That's why people go to church, okay? And I quit the church a long time ago. I did get baptized in a pool with my wife at the same time. We were baptized as Christians by a pastor. But I saw what was wrong with even the Christian church. There was a lot of stuff going on that I didn't approve of. Now, going back to the Pope and the Black Pope, my prediction, I guess it's just a prediction because I think they're going to pick a new Pope this week, maybe by the end of the week. I guess they call it the conclave. Never seen the movie. I have no interest. I have absolutely no interest in the Vatican. or Catholics or anything like that. But I predict they're probably going to get a black pope, a gay pope, or a plus pope, like a fat pope. So it's going to be LGTBQ plus. So it could be like a lesbian pope, a bi pope, a gay pope, a plus pope, something like that, something stupid, okay? Because they're trying to be, different and, inclusive and include everyone because it's a business, okay? They know that people really don't care about the Bible, about the word of Jesus Christ. They don't care about Jesus Christ. This is more of a organization. This is more of a government. You're just part of a church, and like 80% of these priests in the Vatican are gay, okay, or bi. So the Vatican Church is pure evil, and it is the Antichrist if you think about it, because they never go by the teachings of Jesus. Okay, they always go by the teachings of the Pope. You know how the Pope goes out and he gives all these lectures and he says, don't do this and be nice to each other and love gay people and be nice. I don't follow the teachings of the Pope. That's what I'm trying to say. So why would I sit out there in the crowd, going, oh, yes, please tell me how I should live my life? There's only one God. There's only one God. That's it. So he was never my pope. He's never been my pope. But my mom, she did respect the Vatican Church a little bit, and she was a little bit into the Catholic. My grandma also, they pray to the Virgin Mary. I don't pray to the Virgin Mary. I don't pray to the archangels. I don't pray to saints, anything like that. If I pray, it's only going to pray to Jesus and God, okay? It's basically the same. So my prediction, and what I'm saying is, I always heard, like in Art Bell, with all these crazy callers, Art Bell had a lot of crazy callers, right? I always heard, like, when they get out, like, there was always these angry racists. There's like a lot of racists calling in. They're like, if we get a black pope, it's the end of the world. God's going to be angry. I was like, I don't even care. And I'm not racist. I work with black people. I'm not going to say I love black people or anything. I mean, I get along with everybody. But my prediction is that they're going to pick somebody who's LGTBQ, P, whatever, plus, if they go with the black pope, I don't know. I don't know how people are going to react. I really don't care because it doesn't affect me. I'm not part of that church. I'm not Catholic at all, so I don't care. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of explain why I posted that image, because there's a lot of clowns and idiots over here in this community that made up a bunch of lies about why I posted the image. Basically, they said I was racist because I posted the image. It has nothing to do with being racist. It just has to do with, the change in church. Because, realistically, priests and pastors cannot be women, okay? They cannot be women. I don't care what Ash says. It's never going to happen. So if they pick I don't know if they can get a female pope. I don't know. But they might want to do something just to get attention, Maybe pick like a not like a black guy, but maybe like a Mexican guy or something like that. Someone that looks like brown, probably. But let me assure you that he's going to be gay, because everyone in the Vatican is gay. Okay, just look at the way these guys dress, the way they walk. Come on, man. All right, guys. Maybe it's time for some Coors later, huh? Have a good day, guys, and may the force be with you. Bye.